Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this is the last video of explaining each state of RE framework, post which we'll see an entire project, you would say, which will be developing in RE framework, and we'll see all the challenges that we face and how we overcome it. And today me and Niveda are going to walk you through the last state, that is the end process state of the RE framework. So let's get started. So this end process state basically is reached only when you're about to end your process, and it only has the in transitions and not the out transitions, because you're not going out of this state to any state and you end your process here. So if you just see, all the transitions that are coming to end process are the in transitions, that they are coming into this, and there's no transition going out of this. Otherwise it would just create an infinite loop that you'll keep moving in these transitions only, and your process would never stop.
So, Anmol, it is a different state other than all these, like other states.
Yeah, and this is the major difference, that there is no state coming going out of this end process state, because here
Hmm.
you complete everything and you make your process to stop.
Hmm.
So if in the initialization state itself, when you are reading the config, when you are initializing the applications or your login to any systems or application, you get any system
Hmm.
exception, and if you retry and still also you have exhausted all your retry, then you have
Hmm.
nowhere to go else than ending the process. So you
Hmm.
can put in a retry also here, that if you're logging to any system and you want to keep retrying for 3-4 times till you're logged in into the system, and after exhausting all the maximum retry number, you're still not able to log into that system due to any XYZ reason, because that system is down or the selectors have changed or the password have expired, then there's no point of going into any other process else than ending the process.
Hmm.
It's like if you're reading some input file from some website and you're not able to read it after even retrying n number of times, then you have nothing to process. It's better than you end the process and you accordingly send email notifications to your support team or to your clients stating the exception message. So that is why this particular transition from initialization state has come into the end process state. So if you see here, so it states that if system exception is not nothing, means you have some system exception in the initialization state and you cannot go to get transaction data because you have system exception. So you would come to end process state. And similarly, if there is something wrong, then you end the process. Or if you've already executed everything, that is, you had
Hmm.
10 rows, 100 rows, 1,000 rows to process, and you have processed it all. So then you check
Hmm.
in here that transaction item is nothing, that now you have nothing left to process. So you come
Hmm.
to end process state. Also,
Hmm.
if you have any exception in the get transaction data itself, then also you end
Hmm.
your process. So that's why if it's a stop signal from the orchestrator, then also you mark the transaction item as nothing. Or if there is any exception in the get transaction data, so then in the catch block also you are marking your transaction item as nothing. And so these two other things, these two other exceptional scenario, or in the case of exception you mark it as nothing. Also, if you have exhausted everything, you do not have any data left to be processed, then also you're marking it as transaction item nothing over here.
Hmm.
So in all these scenarios, you mark your transaction item as nothing, that is null. And outside this, here you check that if it's null, then that means there is no data and you move to end process state. So in case of no data, if you want to, you know, drop in a notification to your client that everything has been processed and now there's no more data left to be processed. So if you just double click on it, you can drag mail activities, you can drag logging activities here, and you can do all those tasks here. In case of system exception, because your process did not start, properly, and before starting only it broke due to some condition. Then over here also you can drag in the mail message activity, and you can notify your support team that this particular process has not been processed completely or has not been initiated completely due to some reasons. And you can, mention this except system exception dot message, which would have your detailed exception message along with system exception dot source, that is what is the source from which the exception was generated. So all these
Mm.
details you can give in the mail, or you can give in your log message, so that it's very clear to the person who is looking into these bugs. Then when you come to the end process state, so here you do this close all application or
And
close
more,
all.
I think in a end process there is only entry section only. I think there is no entry exit section like other states.
Yeah, so that's why there is only transitions coming in and nothing going out. So only entry section, no
Mm.
exit section. And
Okay.
there are some best practices that you should follow while you are ending your process, that all the
Mm.
applications that your bot is working on, or all the processes your bot is using, it's better you close all of it, or you kill all processes. If it's using Excel, if it's using Word, if it's using any XYZ website, so it's better if it's using any website, you kill the Explorer, Chrome, Firefox, whatever browser it is using to log in. Or if it's using Excel, and also you kill all those things, you close all the applications. So this is the best practice you must follow in the end process state. Then also you have this try catch over here, that if something fails, you're not able to close any application due to some XY reason, you log that thing, and again you try to, if you are not able to close the application, it's like if you're using Excel, or if you're closing File Explorer and you're clicking here to close that particular application, and due to some XYZ reason, due to some selector issue, you're not able to click on this, so then you can directly
Mm.
kill it. You can, instead of clicking on the close button of Excel, if you just directly kill the process. So that's what you try once again, that okay, if the close thing is not working, let me just kill it.
Okay.
You do. So that's why you've written application failed to close gracefully. So that means I was trying to close it properly from here, but I wasn't able to do that. So then I use that to kill it forcefully. So here then you can use that kill process activity, this one, and either you can name the all the processes here one by one, or you can get all those from config and kill it. It's advisable to get it all from config and kill it. And yeah,
And do we do anything in final state?
so then it's entirely up to you. If it is something that even the applications are closing or not closing, you have to send in a process completion mail to your client, then you can do that in finally state, or you can even do it in try state. But it could be that due to some XYZ reason you were not able to send in the mail due to some error, then you can try logging the same thing on in your log file, so that
Mm.
at least you or your support team are aware that okay, this particular end process mail wasn't sent to the client. So things like that you can do in the finally
Mm.
state also. So yeah, that's all for the end process state. And we've deep dived one by one into each state of RE framework: init, get, transaction, process, transaction, end process. In the next video, we'll be covering that how do we club all this to create a project using the RE framework. Do tell me in the comment section below that how you like this series, this deep dive into RE framework. And thanks for watching the video, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel.